Hey guys, hope everyone's doing good. I got a quick little update video for you guys. So I got the engine all back together, adjusted the valves, checked everything out up there. Alternator's all mounted, the fuel pump drive's all done. I got all right length bolts and everything. Keep that weight down. Turbo stuff's all back on. A lot of it's still loose right now. I just kind of threw everything on, make sure there wasn't any fitment issues. And now I've just moved on to doing the transmission. So I didn't really think I was going to have time to go through this, but it's been together for 2 years, so I wanted to, just to check everything out. I do periodically pull the pan off throughout the season, check it. Like I say, 2 years, haven't had any issues with this tranny. So it's probably a good time to do a little video on how I changed the rear gear set to change the first and second gear ratio. So 2 years ago when I did it, I didn't really have the YouTube channel and stuff set up, but I did document it. I did make a video. So I ended up going with Cohen. It's like a half gear set, if that makes any sense. It's just the rear planetary set, and then you have to use your stock reaction carrier and everything. So it's quite a bit cheaper than the full sets, and it's got a pretty good selection of gear ratios. I ended up going with, it's a 205 first gear, 205 first gear, and a 134 second gear. And since it's been 2 years since I did it, and I've had everything apart, checked everything, it's probably a good time to do a little video on how to put this gear set in, because there is some mods, and no one really tells you what exactly you got to do. So pretty easy stuff. If you're already building a tranny, you can probably handle this kind of stuff. Okay, so this is the stock planetary set from my TH400. This is the Cohen gear set that I bought. So first thing you're going to notice if you're looking at the Cohen gear set is it looks totally different than a stock one. The main difference is the outside diameter has been increased just to fit the different ratio in there, I guess, the way I understand it. And all it really does is changes the way the park lever engages into the ring gear. This one's got a window basically that it catches into, whereas this one's got lugs that stick out that it catches onto. It also comes with a different lever. Basically, this is the stock one here, and that just deflects the park lever into the ring gear to engage. So if you notice the stock one down there, you see it moving, you'll see how far out it comes when it's engaged into park. Okay, so I just threw the Cohen bracket on there, lever, whatever you want to call it, and still does the exact same thing, still deflects the park lever over, but you'll notice it's basically hidden now when it's in any other gear, and when in park it just barely sticks out. So the next thing I got to do is clearance the case to fit the larger diameter. So I'm going to assemble it, we'll drop it in there and see where we got to do the clearancing. Okay, I got the main shaft and the output shaft all installed. All clips in just like stock. No issues at all there. Next step is drop it in the case. Don't actually drop it. Lightly install it so we can see exactly. It's my flashlight. No need to worry. What it's hitting on. The clearance needs to happen so far on this rib, I guess you'd call it, and this one on the case. That's what's holding it from dropping down all the way. As you can see, it's sticking up a little bit still. So here's a little better shot at the two areas. I've just marked them with red there that need to be cleared so far. I'm going to drop that in now, see if there's any like witness marks on my paint that I put on there, and go from there. So that worked pretty good actually. There's a pretty good mark right there and right there where it's definitely touching it. I don't see much on the other side, but if you look at the actual ring gear, you can see left some paint there, and also got a little bit of transfer right there where it must be just touching it. So I mean, at this time, it's just the one side that's really holding it up. What I'm going to do to start is I'm going to take a measurement off of this face here where the output shaft thrust bearing rides, or thrust washer, depends what you're running. And I'm going to go across here and measure up to how far this lip sticks out, because this is really where the clearance issue is going to start. You'll see the line that I scribed on both sides. So for now, I'll start clearancing above that line. So I ended up switching up my tactics from the carbide bit to just a round abrasive grinding wheel on the die grinder. It actually worked pretty well to get in there and kind of gave it a contour. Needs a little more still, but for the first whack at it, it's actually did drop right down. So it dropped about a ½ inch further down. You can see it's still tight all through there, which is no big deal. All right, second crack at it. So right now I got I got some feeler gauges stuck in there. I'm about 35 on this side and probably about 45 on this side. So I'm getting very close, probably to where I want to be. I did give it a little extra here. Still gonna need a little more. Basically, this is how I'm checking it. I just got this little piece of scrap steel. That's the thickness that I want. And I'm just made a little handle on it. And I'm just sliding it into tight spots. See if it fits or not. You can see that one spot from the outside. I can slide that in there. And that's it. So as long as that slides in there, I know I'm good. All right, third time's a charm. You can see I got them cleaned up pretty nice. I did some hand sanding on them just to finish them off. So right now we're at about 60 thou clearance. All right, clearancing wise, I think we're all good. When I talked to Cohen about this, when I bought it, they told me as long as the outer ring gear is not touching the case, good to go. They said if I wanted to put a number to it, clearance wise, 10 to 15 thou is a good number. So I did go a lot more than that. Like I said, I went with 60 thou. I'm not doubting them at all. I'm sure it'll be 100% fine, but it's my money in it. And if I have a bushing problem or something like that, I feel a lot more comfortable with a little extra clearance. I don't think it's going to hurt anything, in my opinion. And that's what we're going to run with. All right, last thing to check is the park mechanism. Make sure it's working. So I've got their lever all on here. And right now I'm in anything but park. So if you look in there, you can see the lever. You can see the outer diameter of the new gear set with the windows. So if I were to try to shift to park right now, it's hitting the outer ring gear. So your shifter would actually be holding it into park, and the spring would be putting pressure on the lever, and then it would just have to turn just a little bit and it would drop right in there. Looks like it works perfectly. All right, finished product. So basically just the two ribs and a little bit of clearancing just up through here. And other than that, lots of clearance everywhere. One thing I will say is just the shape of the case, how it kind of tapers down towards the tailstock. You do end up taking a little more material off near the bottom of the rib as opposed to the top of the rib. As you can see, it looks a little thinner at the bottom than it does the top. That's just so it has equal clearance along the side of the gear set. So really not much work at all to put this in. So like I say, that was 2 years ago. I've had the gear set all apart now. I've run it for 2 seasons and everything looks brand new. All the planetary gears have like zero wear on them. There's no play in any of the gears, any of the shafts. All the bushings look good. Everything looks perfect. So I'm really happy with how it worked. Put quite a bit of power through it and have had zero issues with it. So if you're thinking of doing it, it's a pretty good setup. Hopefully it helps you guys out. Like I said, there's not a lot of info on what exactly you have to do to put this into a stock case. Aftermarket case is supposed to bolt right in, but stock case, you got to do all this stuff. So hopefully it helps somebody. I'm going to finish buttoning the tranny up here. Really very minimal stuff I had to do. I changed like 2 bushings and a couple seals, and that's it. So I'm going to get everything back together and get it back in the car. And hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be able to get this thing running, hopefully in the next 2 weeks is kind of what I'm shooting for. Should be a pretty realistic goal, but you never know. Sometimes life gets in the way, but I'm going to work hard at it, try and get some stuff done. So thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Yeah, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, do me a favor. Hit that button for me, and have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching.